All right, so everyone should be on the Nextera EOC pretest page. This is the same page that I gave you in Google Classroom. This is similar to next week's EOC. Okay, it's very similar. The only difference is how you log in. So next week, you will actually look for your login page before you even sign into your computer. So I want everybody to make sure that they can find the login page. And we'll talk about that a little more on Monday. You will find it at the bottom left of your screen whenever you go to log into it. All right, so let me show you that I have the EOC pretest here. So I'm gonna come in and you're gonna click on that same thing in Google Classroom, and the first thing that you need to do is actually select a question sampler. So I'm going to select a question sampler. So actually, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go to Algebra 1. And then next it says select a session. So we're going to go to Session 1. All right. Let's just go back and see that. All right, so remember we're in this question sampler, so we want to go to the question sampler and pick Algebra 1 and then select Session, pick Sampler Session 1. All right, then we are going to actually start the test. All right, so let's go back to this. And I actually want to start this test. So see, I've got the select the accommodations. You don't select anything here. And then the next thing actually gives you directions. So I'm going to let you go through the directions because it's going to be the similar thing on here. So we've got information, so there's an online and offline indicator. Basically, it just means that, hey, you may be offline, but it's saving it so that when you submit it, when you submit, you're okay. Sometimes you have to wait a little bit for it to reconnect before submitting it, but that's okay too. Also directions and pause and sign out. So you can always come back to wherever these directions are. So then the next thing we look at is the review screen. So you use the review button to see your progress on the test and quickly move between questions. So remember, you have to put all this stuff down on a piece of paper. Was a lot that we did on factoring and on finding out just like an individual problem, what it actually was that we needed help with, and writing it down. So I expect that from you guys too on the EOC. So please write down everything. And remember, you gotta turn it in with your name on it. Navigation buttons, so you can go left to right. So like if you press the back button, which is actually this button, it'll take you back to wherever you were at before. If you go to the right or the forward button, it'll take you to the next one. All right, then you have the split screen controls. Some items on the test may be split into side-by-side areas. So this is easily looking at both of those. If you want to focus more on one side, you can move the dividing line left or right by using the arrow buttons at the top. So the reset button will move the dividing line to its original position in the middle. All right, then there's global test tools. So there's the zoom, so you can zoom in or zoom out. There's also a bookmark. So if you have a bookmark on a question, maybe you didn't remember something at the very beginning, but then later on you do remember it. So you put a bookmark on it. Some people don't use this. Note, it opens a text editor where you can actually leave yourself a note to refer to later if you have to. Again, there's not too many people that use this. They do, I've seen some students actually put their work in there instead of writing it down, but you need to write it down also so that you can get points for it. All right. Then we have the test tools, so like a highlighter, all right, a line reader helps you read the line, and then an answer eliminator, so sometimes you can tell, hey, it's not this answer and it's not this answer, so you can actually eliminate those answers. And then you're at the end of the directions. Okay, so next you're going to start the test, but I want you to skip forward to number 9. All right, so I'm going back to this. I'm actually gonna go through all of that. So now we're at the end where we want to start the test. And again, I said skip to number 9. So if you want the answers to this, they are on the video from Miss Spiro. So if you need an answer to it, you could use that. All right, but we are going to actually skip to number 9. So on this question, it says which of the equations are represented by the graph shown, and select all that apply. So I'm going to show you how to use Desmos on here. So you come down here and you notice that there's all these little things. So this one right here is the reference guide. It actually is your reference sheet. Okay, so it's there. Okay, sorry about the phone call. And then there's the highlighter. So remember, X out of it. And then there's a highlighter so you can actually highlight everything there if you want. There's the answer eliminator, which we don't necessarily, I'll show you how you could use it, but I'm not going to yet. And then there's the calculator. So this calculator, really cool. So like here you could put a table in or an expression in, okay? So we're actually going to take, and you can move it like this too, we're going to take this first equation, and I'm actually going to get rid of the answer eliminator. We're going to take this first equation and we're going to put it in right here. So y equals, I need to click on it, sorry, y equals parenthesis x minus 2 parenthesis, and then you're going to start the parenthesis again, and you've got x minus 4, and then in that parenthesis. So whenever I look at it, you want, sorry, I thought I could move it over there, but I can't. You want it to be exactly the same. So I noticed that it's at 2, 0. It's at 2, 0. I noticed that the vertex is at 3, -1. So this vertex is at 3, -1. And then the other solution to it is actually at 4, 0. And then I'm just going to check a couple of other things. So like 5, 3 is actually another point that it goes through. So perfect. This one is actually one of them. All right. And I'm going to do the next one. And so I'm going to leave this one. I'm actually going to go to the next line and put y equals x minus 3. whoops, that is squared, so you can actually get your square from right here. All right, so hang on because it moved on me. So you can actually get your square from right here. All right, or you can push Shift and the 6. That will also get you where it's going to be raised to. And then you're going to go -1. So again, you kind of want to think about this. Well, it should, and I need to erase this, it should be the exact same thing if it is a part of the answer. So like for instance on this one, you're going to go and look, you've got the -3, you have the 2, the 4, so those are the same, and then I'm going to notice that the 5, 3 is also 1. So yeah, that is part of the answer as well. Then I'm going to just keep going, keep doing it, okay? So like the next one, and you can do return, and that will get you down below, or you can put it up above like this. So it's y equals, sorry about that, y equals parenthesis x minus 3 parenthesis squared, and then minus, nope, that one's plus 1. So that one, totally different area. Totally different. Not it. So you're not going to put anything there. The next one, so if I come down here, it's y equals x squared. So minus 6x plus 8. So that should look purplish, and hey, it's the exact same line. So that one is part of it. And then the last one is y equals x squared plus 6x plus 8. And I have my square in the wrong spot, so there we go. So now that one is right over here, which is again not the same. So those are your 3 answers. Okay, it's kind of the worst thing about this is that you have to try everything. Okay, that is better than not trying anything at all. Okay, so then we're going to go to, so here's number 9. You have to use the calculator to find different versions that match the graph. We've done that. Okay, we're now going to go to question number 10. And it says use the tools, to write an equation. So these are the tools down here. So let's go to the next one and look at these tools. Well, whenever you think about it, remember, you want to actually start out so with this one, you actually want to start out with seeing if you can figure out what the y-axis, where it intercepts at. So you're really finding B. B is the y-intercept. So B is actually 5. And then M is actually going in between the 5, and we want to actually go to a point for sure that it's going through, like this one right here. It actually goes through 3, 3. So then we're going to take a look at how far up or down the rise, which is this one's going down 2, so it's a -2, over to the right 3. So that's our actual slope. It doesn't reduce anymore, so that's it. So we can actually write y equals -2/3 x plus 5. All right, so whenever we do this, we've got to enter a y, and I'm going to just come down here and click on it. So enter y, then equals. You can put the equals in here if you want, but it's also on your keyboard. So then it's -2/3. You want to actually use this, so I'm going to put that there, and I'm actually going to go over to it and put it up above. So it's -2 over 3. And then I'm going to go outside of it. I'm going to do x, and then you can put +5 right here, or +5 on the keyboard, and then it's 5. Okay, so pretty simple. All you have to do is make sure you're using this correctly. So like the fraction, make sure you click on this. Or say it's a greater than, make sure you click up here for it. Okay, there's a lot of stuff on here that you're not ever gonna use. So yeah, there's a ton of things over here that you're not ever gonna use. Okay, so the next one is actually number 11. Okay, so let me quickly come back here. So on number 11, you have to use those tools to draw. So you're going to create an X and Y axis. You're going to both of those values have to be positive, because in the actual answer it says you use your domain, which is your X values. They have to go in between 0 and 60. Okay, so this should be your x-axis, and then your y-axis, you have to go to 1. 120 is it should say 120. I'm not sure why I just have 1. So it should say 120. So then we're gonna take a look at it. I know I want to start out by putting my lines in. Okay, so I'm going to use this button. All right, so we're going to click on that, and we're going to start here. So click down, and there's one line. Okay, which line is that? Well, it is the y-axis. All right, so I'm going to come up here and put a y. Then I'm going to do the next line. So click on it again, and I'm going to do it again with this button, and on here I'm actually going to go this way, and it is the x-axis. All right, so then I need to start filling out how much it is. So again, this is the domain. So that means you're going in between 0 and 60. So I'm going to, again, click on this text button, and I'm going to go by tens. Okay, so this one's 5, this one is 10. So I'm going to move down just a little bit, and I'm going to enter 10. All right, then this is 15. So the next one, you'll have to go back and get your text box. So the next one is actually 20. And I'm probably just too close to it to actually let me do it. So I'm just going to move my thing down just a little bit. So this one's 20. And the next one, again, you want to click on that text box. This is 25 and 30. So we're going to enter 30. Click on this text box, click on it again, and then you've got 40. Click on the text box, click on it again, and then you have 50. So I wish I could have moved it over just a little, but I have not found how we could move it over. So this line should belong here. All right. I'm going to click on this box again, then click on it once more. So this one was 50, 60, 60, I'm sorry, 55, 60. So here, and I'm just a little too close to that line. This one is my 60. Okay, so now that's good. That has all the stuff that we need to cover. Now on the y-axis, you have to make it up to 120. So I'm going to just check 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So no, I'm not going to be able to go by twos. So instead, I'm going to go by ones. So this first one is 10. This one here is 20. So I'm going to come over and click on the little text box, and I'm going to put this outside, and it's 20. And then this one's 30. So the next one, this line right here, is 40. So again, click on the box, click on it again, and this one is 40. And I am going to just clear those two for me. Because they're not very good. So, okay, so it cleared a few more, all right? So this one was, again, 50, and then this one over here is 60. So we're going to put that 60 back in here. So there's 60. And then this is 10. So this one here would be 20. And man, I wish that I would do that down just a bit. So this one is 10, this one is 20. So you just have to move down just a little bit. So this is 20. That's a little better. And then the next one was 30. So there's not a whole lot of room here. I'm going to write the next one as 40. Come back and click 50 and 60. So we're going to come click on this and back over here. This is 60, 70 and 80. So we're going to click on there, click on it again, and come back and do 80. And this is 90 and this is 100. So again, click, click, and come over here and put 100, then 110, and then 120. So again, we're going to click, click, and I'm going to put 120. All right, so there we have all of the stuff that we need to put on here. Next, I'm actually going to graph it, okay? So we're going to take these points that we have, so click on the T again. We're going to take this point here and we're going to graph our y-intercept, which is 120. So, oops, let me I'm trying to use it as you guys are learning, so I'm sorry about that. You know what? Why don't we just leave it for right now? I don't think I can actually draw my line yet. Okay, so the 120 would be right here. So, and then you're going to go down 3 over to the right. Well, it goes by tens each. So we're going to actually take this to be like the tens. So we're going to actually take it times 10. Okay, so we've got negative 30 over 20. So I'm going to go down negative 30 and over to the right 20. So 120, 10, 20, 30, okay, and then over to the right 20. Remember, this is 10, 15, 20. So this is where you want to put your mark. So I'm going to come put this, and I'm going to put it right here. So again, 10, 20, 30, and then 10, 20. So this is where it belongs. You can do another one, or you can actually create a line. So they said start it at the 0. So we're going to start it there with this line. So again, that 0, 120 should be where we're starting it. And then we're going to finish it up at the 60. So, you can keep counting if you want, but I'm going to just look to see. I'm not sure. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I thought that it would be there. We're going to actually go through, and then you actually want to think about everything up till this point right here. So we're actually going to pull this up so that we go to the 60 line. And that's it. That's what they asked to see. Okay? So yeah, it's really confusing, but hopefully after you look at it a few times, you'll be better at it. Okay, so our next thing that we're going to look at is actually number 17. So go to number 17, use the tables in the graph to see what type of problems these are, or look at differences in the numbers, okay? So we're going to actually go to number 17. So here I'm just moving through them so that I can actually go to the problem. So on here, we're actually going to look at, again, the calculator, the graphing calculator. So whenever we do this, we want to look at the table. So I'm going to take negative 3, and then the y is actually 8. So y and f of x are the same things. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing on the next one. So negative 2 and 4. And then I've got negative 1 and 2. And then last one is 0 and then 1. So whenever you look at this one, you notice that, hey, it looks either an exponential decay, all right, an exponential growth. No, it could be going the other way if it was a growth. It's not linear, okay, so I'm actually going to eliminate that as my answer, okay, so I'm actually going to eliminate it. And then quadratic, it could be quadratic, okay, so you want to actually see this one, and you actually want to look at the numbers see a little more, see what it's actually doing. So I'm going to check out, first of all, you want to make sure that your x's are going by ones. So like -3 and -2, what's the difference between those? 1. You add 1. You add 1 and you add 1. So I've got, and I'm going to switch colors here real quick. I've got 1, this is 1, and this is 1. So then you want to check out the difference between 8 and 4. So 8 and 4, you're actually subtracting 4. All right, then you're going to find out the difference between 4 and 2. You're subtracting 2. Then you're going to find out the difference between 2 and 1. You're actually subtracting 1. So then from here, you actually want to take and think about how much is the difference between -4 and -2. Well, you can actually look at it and see that this one has -4, and then you get a -2. You actually add 2 to it. Then -2, you get a -1, you add 1 to it. So it really is an exponential, okay? Growth or decay, it is decay. So make sure that you understand that, and we'll look at the next one too. But it should be decay. All right, so again, I thought that would eliminate it, but it's not eliminating. So we're going to actually just answer it as exponential decay. Oh, I know what it is. It's saying, hey, you have to see what this is. So it's f of x. So you can actually put those two together. So you click on both of them. Sorry about that. So then the next one. Okay, so I'm actually going to go down here and I'm going to do the exact same thing. So we're going to go to the table, and this time we've got -1, 3, and then 0, 1, and then 1, 1, and then 2, 3. So whenever you look at the red dots, what's happening? It's going back up. So if it's going back up, it is actually a quadratic. So the quadratic is actually g of x. And let me make sure I get that and that. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to go to the next one. Do the same thing. So on here, we're going to go up to the plus sign. We're going to come down to the table. We're going to do 2, 4. We're going to do 3, and then 9/2. So you can actually use the division sign, and that's totally fine, or the backslash, that's totally fine. You don't have to actually bring up your division here, okay, but you could, all right? So then the next point would be 4, 5, and finally 5 and 11/2. So those are actually black. What does the black line look like? It looks like it's linear. So the linear, it actually is h of x. And then the last one you don't have to do. It really is an exponential growth, and it is actually k of x. All right. So now let's talk about number 19. So number 19, again, you have to play with the tools, okay? So on number 19, let's So I'm going to go to number 19, and here it is. So part A is graph the system of equations. So I'm going to use y equals mx plus b, so slope-intercept form. So we're actually going to find out that on our first equation, our b, remember we want to find that first, is actually 3. And then our m is -2 over 1. So we're going to go on the y-axis up here to b, which is 3. And I'll show you how to do it on the other thing. And then we're going to go down 2 over to the right 1. So you notice that I went in the middle again because every line is 2. So that's it. You could actually draw your little line now. Okay. So how did we do that? All right, so I'm going to use this key. All right, so we're going to go to the 3 and we're going to put the point. And then we're going to go down 2 over to the right 1 and actually, hopefully I get this. Yes, so click on it twice. At least that's as many times as I needed to click on it. And then there's our line. That's really the line. Okay, so then the other one, the B, is actually -2. So I'm going to click on this line again, and I've got to go down here to -2. And then we're going to go up 1 over to the right 2. So I'm going to go up 1, you're right here, and then over to the right 2 is right here. So you want to, let's see, you want to come and move this point and right there. Okay, so there's the system graphed. All right, then you got part B, which asks, what is the solution to the system? Well, it looks like it's actually 2, -1. So then I'm going to come down here and I'm simply going to click into it, and I'm going to put 2, and then I'm going to put -1. Okay. All right, so let me just check just to make sure we are done. And we are. So again, make sure that you understand how we use all of these tools. So you might kind of spend the rest of the hour playing around with it. You might try another way. So like, for instance, on I think it was number 11. Yes, on number 11, you actually might go back into it and experiment more with it, because, hey, there might be something that you guys find that I didn't find, and more power to you. Okay. All right, so that's it. So make sure that you know all of this information, and hopefully you guys are going to do a fantastic job on the test.